Happy Sunday, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's always a pleasure to see all of you, and this is exactly why we do what we do. Just seeing all of you all join us today makes us really, really happy. As you all know, I am Vrinda Kapadia, and I am the Chief Information Officer of FACS. I am being joined by Ravneet Singh today, who will be sharing some pearls that helped him along his journey. So welcome to the webinar, Ravneet. Ravneet and I have both been through the grueling process of the PT licensure process in the United States. As all of you know, there are a lot of hurdles along the way, and there are a lot of prerequisites that need to be fulfilled before anybody is even eligible to take the license exam. I personally had to wait for about 18 months to become a licensed PT in the US. It's only recently that I realized that I could have actually finished it within 8 to 9 months if only I had the right guidance. And that's why I'm very grateful to Ravneet today, because he will be sharing his journey of becoming a licensed PT in the US and some of the tips and tricks that he learned along the way. He's going to share about some of the mistakes that he made, which he wished he wouldn't have done, just to make this process easier. So Ravneet, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So just let me know if you can hear me out loud and clear. Yes, perfect. Welcome everyone in the webinar. My name is Ravneet Singh, and I serve as a CIO to the FACS PT. I'm going to share my screen and then we'll go from there. I hope everyone is doing well and staying safe, still maintaining good social distancing in the pandemic. I know that we have vaccination and everyone's getting vaccinated. So just be safe. Once again, thank you very much for joining in the webinar. I'm going to be presenting the slides, and you'll be able to see it on your screens. So a little bit about myself. I'm a foreign trained physiotherapist. I'm from India, from Amritsar. I started my journey in the United States in 2015, and ever since it has been great and a great learning experience, for the evaluations and how to become a physiotherapist. And it's been great. I got my master's in rehabilitation from Loma Linda University, and I'm doing my MBA in healthcare. In addition to what I'm doing, I have this passion to teach. I have been working with NPTE Final Frontier, the most successful coaching program for the NPTE in the United States, a license examination in the United States. And I got an honor to lead the international branch for the Final Frontier team. And I have been like 4.5 to 5 years, and I've been serving as a lead instructor for the PCE Final Frontier with a great team working with us. I'm also an APTA certified clinical instructor, which means that I can take the interns and help them to get their clinical rotations. In my professional PT career, I recently got promoted as a director of rehabilitation in a skilled nursing facility. In addition to my passion with teaching, my passion to see patients, I got an opportunity to work with the PTs all over the world. Almost 5 years ago, we created a Facebook page, FCCPT Rules and Updates, and we saw that how people are struggling. I was not the only one who was struggling through the process. There were hundreds and thousands of people who had no idea how to go through the evaluation process in the United States. And we came to a conclusion that we need an organization. We need to gather a lot of people to help us to help people so that we can help them to go through the barriers and keep their journey as easier as possible. You know, they say you can't win a battle with one person, you need a whole army. So we have our whole army in this webinar helping you guys in the chat and helping me to organize this webinar with all of you. This webinar is going to be telecasted live on the Facebook and will be posted our video later on the YouTube channel of the FACS PT. So if you miss anything, you can always go to our YouTube channel and watch other videos that we have created, other webinars that we have done in past, right? It's been an honor for me to serve as COO for the FACS PT. And in addition to my passion for teaching, and in addition to my passion with working with the clinical rotations, I got an opportunity to serve the PT community, and it couldn't be better to serve the PT community by becoming a member, by becoming a volunteer in the nonprofit organization like FaxPT. And last year I became a board member for the National Physical Therapy Association in United States, who helps a lot of foreign trained PTs in their struggle for the green card, in the struggle for their evaluation processes, and to make a good career in the United States. So why FaxPT? As I said, almost like 4 to 5 years ago, we created a page when there was a huge chaos created by the big organizations in the United States when they changed the rules overnight, and people didn't know what to do. People didn't know who to talk. There was a high volume to the organizations and nobody had any answers. Like, they have paid so much money to the organizations, and how come they are making those changes overnight without giving any heads up to the PT community? So we saw the struggle and we created a Facebook page, and with all the support, we have more than like 8,500 members in that page on Facebook. If you don't have it, do let us know. We will let you enter in that page, where we discuss all about how to become the physiotherapist in the United States from step 1 to step whatever wherever the road ends. FaxPT is the only and the first organization created by the foreign trained PTs for the foreign trained PTs. All right. And we are blessed to have so many passionate PTs who are helping us becoming volunteer with our organization and answering questions on our Facebook pages and our emails. Besides the foreign trained PTs, we have some wonderful people like Derek, who is the CEO for FaxPT, and David, who is one of the board members for the FaxPT. They saw how internationally trained PTs are struggling and the injustice have been done with us. So they joined our mission and they helped us create FaxPT. They are the co-founders of the FaxPT because they could understand the struggle so that they can help people to become licensed physiotherapists in the United States. Just to be clear, for any nonprofit organization, making money is not the purpose. We have done more than 7 webinars in just 2021, and we are running the organization from 2019. And we have done plenty of free webinars in different universities, colleges, and on the Facebook Live. You can go to our page and check the record. Our mission is to help as many PTs as possible so that the mistakes that we have done, the struggle that we have seen, you don't have to go through that. All right. There are a lot of services that we offer under FaxPT, like consultations. When I was coming to the United States, I only had barely one person to talk to because I was the second person who was coming to the United States from my city on a student visa. I didn't have anyone from my college, my university, except one person, that's Dr. Singh, Dr. Bhupinder Singh, who helped me through the process and who taught me and educated me of what steps needs to be taken. He was doing PhD, so I couldn't talk to him too much, but that's how we learned, like, we need an organization who can be the first person to talk to anyone who wants to come to the United States. So we created a service called Consultation. Under Consultation, you don't have to talk to 100 people. Under Consultation, you will be assigned one person that you talk to, and that one person will help you to get through your license, your questions about the licensing in different states, what are the requirements, what are the prerequisites, and how to go about that. We also have post-evaluation services, which means that if you have already applied for your evaluation and you have a lot of deficits in your course, our team can help you with the minimum cost. Our team can help you to find those courses, not just finding those courses, but also will help you to find the best course, the easiest availability, and the cheapest option. All right. I can guarantee you none of the organization is doing that so far, what FaxPT is doing, because we know when we applied for FCCPT, we have like 15 different courses and we don't know which course to be picked. So we call 15 different universities and ask them their price per unit, the prerequisites and everything. FaxPT will give you a report which will have if this particular university require any TOEFL, any other prerequisites to get the course done. So the most reliable, the easiest available, and the cheapest option will be provided you in the post-evaluation. We've been blessed to serve clients from all over the world, especially from India, Pakistan, UK, Canada, Europe, who have been dreaming to come to the United States. and it has been a great journey. All right. So this is all about me, and this is all about how the Facts was created and what the mission that we have to serve the community. Now I'm going to talk about what you need to do if you want to come to the United States. And this is where you need to make steps. This is where you need to ask questions. What if I do this? What if I do that, in terms of saving time and money, and how to be most efficient about the procedure. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna share what I did and what I wish I would have done. Now, when you saw the flyer, we had a heading which says, I wish the things that I wish I would have known, which means that we want to share our experience with you, just to make sure that the mistakes that we did, I don't want to call it mistake, because mistake is a negative word. I want to call it an experience. Everybody has a different experiences. So we want to do something for you guys so that you have the best experience in your evaluation process. Just think about it, guys. You are going to come to the United States. It's a big deal. You are going to land in a country of opportunities. Okay, the process does not have to be frustrating. The process has to be joyful, because you're going to do something which is going to help you to pursue your dreams, to help you to come across different big opportunities of the jobs, and your dream job, and the places that you always want to visit. We're talking about United States. Okay, we don't have to be scared. We don't have to be worried. We don't have to be anxious. Okay, if we understand the process, if we understand the importance of what needs to be done first, we can get through this. All right, so I'm gonna tell you what exactly I did. Okay, we can be in the same boat, or you can do things differently. Okay, they say the winners don't do things, they don't do different things, they do things differently. So this is what we are trying to do. We want you to become a winner. We don't want you to become a part of a crowd who's just following the same pattern. Try to take your chances, make your own journey exclusive. All right, so I hope everybody has heard about different organizations for the evaluations. So let me just give you an overview. When you want to come to the United States, you have to go through an evaluation process, right? Which means that you have to prove that your education is equivalent to the education which is given in the United States. So you send your documents to one of those agencies, for example, FCCPT, CGFNS, ICD, IERF. If these terms are very new to you, don't worry. You can always email it to us. Hey, I have no idea about the agencies. Please let me know. We'll help you to understand about the agencies as well. Or we'll send you a YouTube link where we have explained about the different agencies, and you can go through it. And then send us an email. Hey, I have these questions about that. Okay. So when you want to come to this country, you wanna have your degree evaluated. No matter if you have green card or if you're a permanent resident. If your first degree in physiotherapy is from a different country than United States, you have to go through the process. Okay. For some people, process is small, and for some people, process is way longer. I will explain how it goes. So when you think about becoming a licensed physiotherapist in the United States, you have to go through the evaluations. What I did when I wanted to come to the United States, the first thing I thought, hey, I want to go to the United States on student visa. So I started looking at the master's program. Okay, so just like any other student, I hired an agent, and they did a search for me. I never saw my agent. I was from a different city, and they were in a different city. I didn't want to visit them. I was like, you do the research for me, and I'll make my decision, and we'll go from there. I didn't have any choice, but I can guarantee you, you have a choice. Okay, if you want to know about the master's program and the Tdpt programs, which are accredited by APTA, go to our website, and we have a list of all the universities, especially the Tdpt universities that you can go through. Okay. All right. So what I did, I started thinking about how am I going to be in United States. So I started applying for the master's program. Okay. I applied for my master's program in Loma Linda University. I got an admission, and I came to United States on student visa. All right. Then I applied for the FCCPT report, which is Educational Credential Review, which means that they will take all my transcripts, and they evaluate and tell me if I lack in any courses that needs to be done. Back then, we used to have CWD5. If you don't know about CWD5, it's a coursework tool on which FCCPT or other agencies evaluate your transcripts. Okay, back then things were a little easier. I still applied for the ECR because somebody told me, go for ECR. I went for ECR, I had 2 deficiencies, and it took me like 3 months to make my mind if I should go for ECR and what FCCPT is. I had no idea. I got some help somehow to fill the application and everything. And that friend helped me to go through the process and told me, okay, you know what, just go for ECR. I went for ECR, and then I got to know that I have deficiencies. And in about 8 months, I finished my deficiencies and everything. And by the time I was going for my license exam. So back in July to October 2016, I was going for my license exam. And in September, the rules got changed. They said, we will not accept CWD5, rather we will accept CWD6 for type 1. It happened in September 2016. I can never forget that, that time when it was a huge trauma, I would say. So it was a huge trauma. They have paid money for type 1 and the rules got changed overnight, okay? So I was like, what do I do? So a lot of people told me, you know, you have to apply for type 1 because by December they extended the deadline. They would apply CW6. I was like, you know what? For now, my priority is to go for the license exam. So I went for the license exam without thinking much, without thinking type 1 requirements and everything. I cleared my license exam and then I applied for my type 1. All right. So I did my master's program. I applied for ECR, got deficiencies done. Then I cleared my license. And even though I had a master's program, I had spent $40,000 just tuition fees. I'm not counting the money that I spent on my livings, my dorm, and my transportation, just $40,000 on my tuition fee. My type 1 had 12 deficiencies, which means that we're talking about at least $8,000. I'd spent $40,000 and now I still have to pay spend $8,000 on my deficiencies. So what I did my research. I had no idea that some other agency can also do the type 1 or visa screening certificate. I did my research, and by then I had learned a lot of stuff, and I applied for my visa screening certificate for CGFNS. I don't want to call it a mistake, but I should have never gone for CGFNS in my experience, okay? I'm not gonna say bad stuff about any of the agencies here, but I'm just sharing my experience. CGFNS took 1 year to give me a visa screen certificate. They require 170 points, 170 credits, not 210 credits like CWD6, but it took them 170 full 1 year to give me a visa screening certificate because of the slow process. They don't have a helpline email. If you go through their website, they have a helpline number, and you need at least 1 hour to talk to somebody else, and they usually have no answer. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go for the CG. By then I had lost 1 chance of H1B. People who are listening to me and who are on student visa and who are on H1B, they would understand the importance of 1 chance of H1B, losing 1 chance. You have no idea like what to do. You have to pay a lot of a tuition fee again to extend your student visa. So you have to take a course which is at least $30,000 to $40,000, and you're making money, you're living, you're paying your rent, you're paying for your car, and you really don't have that much money to pay for another tuition fees. But I went for MBA program. I was like, you know what, I've made money and I'm gonna go for the MBA because I'm more interested in business. I had started running the SCCPT page by the time everything had happened, and I was associated with Dr. Singh, and we had created that page, and we had like thousands of people who were struggling same, and we all worked together to brought some small changes, which really helped us a lot. All right. And then I finally applied for the jobs while I was applying for the CGF, and then I started working as a PT. These are the steps that I took in my career. Now I'm going to tell you what I could have changed if I go back in time. What would I do? If I was in 2015 right now, I would apply for the type 1 directly, because back then they were accepting type 1 and CWD5. I would have only 2 deficiencies, and with the re-evaluation, I would have got my type 1 certificate. I didn't have to go through 12 deficiencies or $8,000 payment. I didn't have to go through the ECR. All right. What I would have done is if I would have known the process effects was in 2015, I would have known that I should directly go for my type 1, and then side by side, I should apply for my master's program or Tdpt program, depending on my interest. All right. So I would have done these two things together. I would finish my deficiencies while I'm doing my master's program. I would reevaluate the type 1. I would finish my master's and type 1 together. I would have started my job in November 2016, applied for my H-1B in 2017. If I would have gone H-1B, I would have not gone for the struggle for the MBA program or acupuncture program or TDPT program or anything. All right. So if you are in this boat right now on the left, the things I did, please talk to us. Maybe we can help you to change some of the things which may help you to make better decisions in future. But if you are doing things that I would have done, I wish I would have done back then, you are going on a right track. At this moment, what you want to do is you don't want to apply for type 1 directly, because most of the states, if you are graduated after 2017, your initial ECR will be evaluated on the basis of CWT6, which means you would already know what deficiencies that you were lacking in, and then you can take help from FaxPT, and we can go through the post-evaluation services, give you the list of courses, and then you can apply for your type 1 directly. You don't have to go through the re-evaluation of the type 1. Whatever course that you're going to take, if you're on a student visa, or if you're on a spouse visa, or if you have a green card, if you are going for a master's or TDPT program, that's completely fine. Just go with that, whatever you are interested in, and will help you to go through your evaluation process. All right. You can start sending us the questions. Try not to send the questions directly to me. Send your questions to Derek or Vrinda, and they will answer most of your questions. And then they will send me the questions if anything is left unanswered. I have a question, says, why did you need CGF? And I think I answered that question because I had lost my hope with FCCPT because they changed the rules and CGFNS did not. But I didn't know that CGFNS also following CWT6. All right, back then it was a huge confusion. Nobody knew what happened. So I was kind of the first person who went with the CGFNS, and then we told people about CGFNS that there is a possibility, but there are pros and cons about all that process. If you have that patience, if you have that time to go through a process of a year and you don't want to go through 210 credits, maybe you can go for CGFNS. All right. So if you have any questions so far, please let us know in the chat, and we'll be happy to help you with that. All right, perfect. So this is something that I did and I wish I would have done. Again, I'm not regretting anything. Why did I do this? I did everything according to my best knowledge. I did everything according to whatever support I was getting. I was learning the process, okay? Starting my journey when I was a third-year student, I started writing a blog about a PT. I think it's still there, physio.blogspot.com. I would write about the posture and everything. Starting my journey as a blogger and as a presenter, as a content maker back in 2010, I believe. And we're talking in 2021, 11 years. And now I'm sitting in front of you talking about what I would have done as a COO for the nonprofit organization. It has been a great journey. Believe me, if a person from a small city like me can do this, you can also do that. All right. So I'm going to share some tips with you guys so that you have a better understanding where I'm standing and what I have to do next. The first thing that you have to do is make a final decision. If you are juggling between, should I go to Canada or should I go to the United States? You final decision, okay? Because it's gonna cost you a lot, right? It's gonna, like, if you have to go through the evaluation with CAPR in Canada, it's gonna cost you more than like $1,500 to $2,000. Okay, just the evaluation is gonna be $1,000, but if you register for the exam, that's again $1,000. But you have IELTS and you have health course and a lot of, so I'm gonna say $2,000 for Canada. But if you're going for the United States, then it's gonna cost you like almost like $900 for the initial evaluation, and then you have courses to be done. I'd say like $4,000 on an average. Then you reevaluate, and that's gonna be another $500 to $600. So it's a lot of money to be spent on, especially when we come from India. You have to multiply everything with 70 or 75 in that range. It's a lot of money. Make a final decision. Which country do you want to go to? do the process for that particular country, make some money, and then go back to your other options. Like if you want to have another option like Canada or any other country, that's what I think. I would just keep myself financially stable when I'm going through this process. The second is don't rush and do your research. Okay, don't rush through the process. You need to have the patience. All right, talk to people, talk to FaxBeam, take a consultation, make steps. Its consultation is 30 minutes audio call, which means it can be 45 minutes, it doesn't matter to us. All right, which means you're talking to me or one of the other lead evaluating officers, and they'll tell you the step-by-step process, and they'll tell you if you are here in this particular journey, this is what you need to do next to save time and money. Okay, so don't rush through the process. Read everything what FCCPT, CGFNS, or any other agency says. Go through the USC, see if there's anything, a piece of information that you're missing, or you ask us if you have any other questions. Don't rush. Take your chances. Okay, I took my chance with CGFNS. Till date, I do not have type 1 certificate with FCCPT. I have a visa screening certificate through CGFNS. I took my chance. I have a visa screening certificate. It took me a long time. It really doesn't matter. What matters is I'm practicing in the United States. I'm serving different organizations, and I'm pursuing my dreams. I'm living the life that I dreamt maybe 10 years ago or maybe 15 years ago. All right. Evaluate for the long-term goal. The long-term goal for everybody who is listening to me is to practice in the United States. So look at a bigger picture. Okay, let's say you are not practicing in the United States right now, but down the road in 2 years, let's say you will start practicing in the United States. The minimum payment that you'll receive in a year is gonna be, I'm gonna say like $75,000 to $80,000. All right, I'm just gonna give you a vision so that you get a little motivated. Okay, $75,000 to $80,000 a year. Okay, so think about it. If you are hesitating to spend money on the evaluation and taking your chances, and you're like, you know what, it's like $5,000, $10,000, I don't know what's gonna happen. Think like a businessman. Okay, think like an entrepreneur. This is your investment. All right, make your investment wisely. Talk to people. I won't say talk to 100 people. That's why we have consultation services, which I'm emphasizing again and again. Talk to your consultant, and they'll tell you where you need to spend the money, and they'll save you a lot of money. And just make a goal of becoming a PT in the United States in the next 2 years, and then start working on that. Once those 2 years happened, you will look back and you will smile, and you'll be like, yes, I went through the process, and now I'm standing here talking to my American patients and treating my American patients. All right, so look at the big picture. Don't worry about the amount of time and money that you're going to spend. I know it's a lot of money, but there are no shortcuts. Okay, be smart with money and time, and there's no shortcut to process. It doesn't mean that it has to be frustrating or tedious. Okay, there's no shortcut. It's a long process. So if you start today, think about 1 year at least. If you don't have any deficiencies, 1 year to become a license in the United States. Okay, I strongly believe that you can be either smart or smarter. There's no such thing that you lose or you fail through the process. Everybody gets through it. Some people get through it easier. Some people takes a lot of time to get through it. Okay, it depends on the plan that you have made. But every second matters. Even now we are talking right now, it matters how much you're learning right now and how much me talking makes sense to you. If it does not make sense to you at all, please do not hesitate to talk to us. All right, I'm trying to go as slow as possible so that you can understand what I'm trying to say. We're not selling a product. We're telling you just be smart. Okay, talk to a consultant, because we have experienced people working here who know what the whole evaluation process means. If you go through our website, the kind of research that we have done, you can find the requirements of every single state in the United States on our website. All right, you'll find the Tdpt programs. Okay, you'll find the free webinars and recordings and videos for the ECR process, the 5 steps that you need to take for your license exam, and how to go through with the type 1 certificate versus visa screening certificate. A lot of free information on the website. Go through it. You have questions, you want to make your own plan, talk to a consultant half an hour and go from there. All right. So again, there's no failure, there's no regret. It's all about becoming smarter every day with new learnings. All right. I was reading a book. It's called Lessons from the People Who Went to the Moon. And I found a quote quoted by Jeff Bezos from the Blue Origin Company. It says, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And we are not going to we are not going to stop. We are just going to keep going. All right. I think the stop is hidden under the logo, but that's completely fine. We're not going to stop. We're just going to keep going. It's a process that will require consistency. And consistency is the key to success. All right. If you are consistent in the process, and if you're ready to take that, like checking every day and have that patience to wait for like 3 months for your evaluation, and reading for different state requirements if you don't have any state in your mind at this particular moment, so if you have that potential, I welcome you all to the United States already, because they say you make things in your brain first. I was reading a book, and it says, it asked me a question. It says, do you know where the Eiffel Tower was made first? I was like, what do you mean by first? There's only one Eiffel Tower in Paris. And the question was, do you know where the first Statue of Liberty was made first? I was like, there's only one Statue of Liberty. Do you know where the first Taj Mahal was made? I was like, there's only one Taj Mahal. And the answer was, all these things were made in the mind first. You have to create your vision in your mind, and then you start with the process. Okay, all those big structures that I taught took many years for them to become a wonder of this world, right? So if you want to make your journey successful and you want to come to the United States, you have to believe that it's going to happen, but you have to be consistent with your work. The FACTS team, nonprofit organization, we have PTs all over the world, and we are happy to help you. We have helped people from many countries, and we're still helping, we're still standing strong, and we're still challenging anything bad that happens to the foreign trained PTs. The only intention for us to help foreign trained PTs get their evaluation process as easy as possible. If you want to watch this webinar again, you can go to our YouTube channel and type FACTSPT.org. Or if you want to know about other free sources, the requirement of the states, or anything about the FACTS-PT, you can go through our website, www.factspt.org. Any questions regarding a consultation or any other services, talk to our support team. Or if you want to talk to me directly, you can always email me at ravneet@factspt.org. All right, this is all about me talking about my journey, the things that I did and things I wish I would have done. All right. But I'm happy to take any other questions. If you don't have any question, thank you very much for joining us. We'll keep doing the webinars. The next webinar series are going to be from different country. This was from India. Now we will do another country like Pakistan, or we'll do another country like Nigeria, and we'll try to do a webinar every month. Our target for 2021 to do at least 6 webinars, and I'm happy to inform you all that we are only like in the 6th month or 7th month of this year, and we have already done 7 webinars already. So we are looking at 5 or 7 webinars in future again. All right, so keep supporting the nonprofit organization made by the foreign trained PTs for the foreign trained PTs, because if we have your support, we can make wonders in future. I promise you guys. All right, if you don't have any question, thank you everyone for joining in the webinar. But if you have any question, I'm gonna sit here for you guys to answer any questions that you have. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ravneet. My private chat is flooded with questions.
Bring it
So
on.
we do have
That's
a ton
good.
of questions.
Yes.
Also, I completely agree with you with everything that you mentioned. I think especially even with the students that I work with, the one thing that I always tell them is think of the end goal in mind. For example, if your goal is to be a full-time clinician, then like people ask me, should I do PhD? Should I do Tdpt? Should I do masters? And I'm like, think of your end goal. Like if your goal is to become a full-time clinician, maybe PhD is not what you want to pursue. Or if you want to get into research, or if you want to get into academia, then maybe you should go the PhD route versus doing like a residency or something of that sort. So I completely agree with you that the end goal is really, really important, and that start your evaluation process sooner than later so that you know what deficits you're going to have, and then you can start working on them as soon as possible. So in the long run, it will help you save time and money. Um, we're going to get started with the questions. Are you ready, Ravneet?
Yep, bring it on.
Okay, so the first question is, what if I apply for a TDPT course, which is completely online? Then which visa will I be using to come to the United States?
All right, it's a good question. A lot of people have been asking this question. Unfortunately, you will not have any kind of visa if you're thinking about F1 student visa. Uh, Online courses do not provide you student visa. So if you're thinking to come to the United States on a student visa, you'll have to go through the on-site TDPT. Okay, we do have recommendations for the on-site TDPT on our website. You may want to check that.
Perfect. The next question is from Adira. She asks, is TDPT better than doing masters? And do US universities still offer masters?
All right, again, one of the most common and favorite questions of every foreign trained PT. Guys, let me tell you one thing. Master's program or TDPT program. Okay, we did a webinar on that. You'll have a video on YouTube, but let me just give you an overview, okay? It all depends on what you want to become. All right, it matters with the money, with the time frame and everything. Like, let's say if a master's program is 2 years and TDPT program is 1 year, what do you want to do? If you already have masters in India, why do you want to have masters again? Okay, if you already have like PhD in India, why do you want to have masters again? That's gonna have an impact on your visa also. But let me just give you pros and cons of both the courses very quickly. Master's program, some of the master's program will give you the STEM OPT. If you don't know about the OPT, it means it's a temporary permit optional practical training. It's a temporary period of training, which means that you can work without work visa in the United States for 2 to 3 years. It's a STEM program. If it's not a STEM program, then you will have only 1 year of OPT. In that 1 year, you'll have to apply for your work visa. Most of the, I would say all of the TDPT programs will give you 1 year OPT, but the master's program with the STEM will give you 2 to 3 years of OPT. So now if you want to do TDPT or masters, I can't answer that question for you. I can't make a choice for you. You'll just have to work through your pros and cons. If I have to make that decision, I would go for TDPT if I go back in my time. Okay. I don't know if I may go for a master's. I may think, why do I want to go for TDPT? Just because I want a doctor in my name? Maybe that's not a priority for me. I want more time to practice in the United States so that I can work on my H-1B, which is worker visa. So I get master's program, I apply for OPT, and I have 3 years of OPT, which means 3 chances of work visa. All right. I don't know how many of you know work visa is a lottery system. Out of 200 to 300,000 files, only 65,000 files are picked up under lottery. No merit, no bias. It's a complete lottery system. You get your H-1B or not, it really depends on the luck. Okay, so again, if you want to be very practical person, you may want to go with the master's program because it has 2 to 3 chances of H-1B. But if you already have masters, I would not recommend you to apply for masters because it can impact your visa. You go for TDPT and then you'll find another ways if you don't get H-1B and then further how to extend your F1 visa. If you are still not clear, make sure that you book a consultation and we can talk about it in details and talk about different courses, different master's program, different state requirements and all that stuff.
I agree with you, Ravneet. And I think this answers somebody else's question as well. Their question is that are masters of exercise physiology or exercise science students eligible to work on their STEM OPT as PTs?
Yeah, mostly people do work as a PT on their STEM programs. You just want to make sure that the majors are in physical therapy, okay? Mostly the OPT programs that you want to have physical therapy courses more than the exercise physiology and kinesiology.
The next question is, can someone apply for their PT licensure for multiple states simultaneously?
You can if you have a valid evaluation. Some states require type 1, some states do not. So if you are applying for different states, you'll have to pay extra for duplicate copies. Okay, so the evaluation process costs you differently than the state process. Evaluation process, let's say it costed you like $1,500 to $2,000. Every state has their application fees, background check, and a duplicate report. So duplicate report is like $180. Application process is like $300 for the application, probably $50 for the background. Some states require TOEFL, some states do not. So if you're going for different states, you want to make sure that all those states that you're choosing have similar requirements so that it's less hassle for you.
Okay, the next question is, if somebody wants to come to the US and they're doing their bachelor's and they want to jump to doing Tdpt, how soon should they start with the preparation process for coming to the US?
You will have to finish all your documentation. You would need your bachelor's of degree like certificate, the internship certificate, your TOEFL scores. I don't think any of universities require GRE. So once you have all the documents, then you should apply for the different programs. Mostly the program starts in fall, which means September. So if you're going for a September or a fall batch, then you want to make sure that everything has been sent before the February of the same year. So let's say if you're applying for 2022 September, by February 2022, you need to have all your documents sent to the university. Because there's a lot of our applicants and they have to go through and pick you for the process, for the admission process.
Agreed. It can get a little bit competitive, and
Yes.
it can take anywhere between 6 to 8 months to get everything, get all your documents from your school, universities, and all of that stuff. And for this student, I would also mention that, like Ravneet said in his presentation, that the sooner you start with your evaluation process, so as soon as you come to the United States on a visa and you're studying, start with your evaluation process if you can, because that will help you save time eventually. Ravneet, the next one, I'm sure you've heard it 100 times probably. I think this is the most commonly asked questions in most of our consultations that we do with the clients. It is, what if I'm going on an immigrant visa and my permanent state, like my final state, is not decided yet? Is it a good idea to first apply for New York and then transfer your score later on? Or should I just wait till I make a decision and then start with the evaluation process?
Yeah, you're right. I've heard this question like more than 1,000 times. Yes, you should definitely go for New York. Okay, because you want to get your license. Okay, preparing for license is a whole different, I would say, it will change your life. You'll become a competitive PT. It's such a joyful journey. It can be harder, okay, but it's such a joyful journey. It gives you so much rush that because when you're studying for NPTE, you don't want distractions. So once you apply for New York, you have 3 months to study for yourself, prepare your exam. Once you receive your evaluation from New York, because New York usually does not give you any deficiencies, only if you go through the New York verification. Okay, that's important. If you go through the New York verification, they will not give you any deficiencies just for the NPTE. But if you want the license later, you'll have to apply for ECR and do the deficiencies again. Okay, it's all about time and money. If you do the process side by side, it's going to save you a lot of time. But if you want to secure your license first, I'd say go for New York and then start thinking about the other states and put your money in the application process over there.
I would agree with you. And this is something that also I recommend, because once you're licensed in New York, at least you can start working in New York. You can start making the salary of a physical therapist while you're working on endorsing your license. Versus if because other states might take like 6 extra months or 10 extra months. And now you're waiting for those 10 months without a job, without working, without making any money. This is one of the mistakes that I made. And I wish somebody would have told me this when I was going through the process. So Ravneet, I completely agree with you. And I always tell everybody, don't make this mistake. Not a mistake. I just didn't know. But you can do better. Like, there are other options. Ravneet, I think the next question, the student is kind of in a similar boat that you were a couple of years ago. So the student she cleared her NPTE with Dr. Singh in 2019. She is a physical therapist in Canada, and she's using her TN visa currently. Her question is, she did the FCCPT evaluation, the type 1 evaluation, and she got 158 credits. And you did MBA, but she's doing MHA, and she's planning to move to Illinois. So her question is, should she wait and finish all the deficiency that she had in the FCCPT report, or should she apply for CGFNS and do a new evaluation to see if there are fewer credits?
I'd say stick with FCCPT. That I think if you stick with one agency, that's a smarter choice. Because when you go through the CGFNS, you'll have to send all the documents again, and it's frustrating to get documents from your university, especially from the back home countries. And then well, in this picture, I wouldn't count money. I wouldn't say money is a big factor, but time is a big factor. Okay. Once you send your documents, if the document is need to be verified, then they'll send a verification to your university. It's a long process. You will have no awareness where the process is going, because tracking CGFNS process is kind of tricky. So I'd say stick with FCCPT, just have patience, okay? Just have patience and keep working on your deficiencies, because CGFNS also works with CWT6 if you're going through the visa screening process. So the name of the courses are not going to change. It's just the number of credits are going to be reduced with CGFNS a little bit. It doesn't make much difference. It's the the conversion is different with CGFNS and FCCPT for their credits. Okay, from a university, if FCCPT is taking 5 credits, CGFNS may take 5 or 4 or 3 credits from that particular course. So my answer is stick with FCCPT, have patience, and just work through it.
I completely agree with Ravneet. I would recommend you to do the same thing. And if you need help in identifying courses that will cover more than one deficiencies, or if you're looking for more economical options, you can always reach out to us. That is something that we do assist students with. So you can just check out the FACTS-PT website and look at the post-evaluation. You can have an advisor work with you and try to figure out what are the best course options that you can select to fulfill those deficiencies. I still have a lot of questions to go through, but I know we are a little short on time, so we're going to end the webinar over here. For all the questions that have not been answered yet, please feel free to email us at contact@factspt.org, or you can just set up a consultation with us. If we feel like the question can be answered like in one sentence or something, we always respond via email. But if we feel like maybe there's something more than you can do, then we will encourage you to, sign up for a consultation so you can talk to somebody one-on-one and, just figure out how you can eventually save time and money and just figure out this whole process. Ravneet, thank you once again for joining us today, sharing your story and all these tips. I'm sure these will be really, really helpful to all the students, and it will make the process a little less daunting. And thank you to everybody for spending another Sunday of yours. I think this is the 7th Sunday this year that you're spending with us. And we cannot tell you how grateful we are to be able to be a part of this journey with you. So thank you so much for your support and for everything that you do. And we look forward to meeting you at conferences in the US once you become a licensed PT, and like to actually meet all of you in person one day. So yeah. Ravneet, anything else you would like to add?
That's it. Just the final thing that I would recommend everyone is to look at the long-term goal. You are going to become a licensed PT in the United States, and it is a big deal. You want to achieve something bigger, you have to do something bigger for that, okay? So don't get frustrated with your journey. Make it joyful, make it all worth, and maybe down the road in 1 year or 2 years, you'll be talking to us, hey, I want to help facts, and I want to help as many people as I can in the world, and we'll welcome you with our open arms. So good luck, everyone. Thank you all for joining and giving me this opportunity to serve the PT community. I'm so grateful. I'm so honored. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great Sunday.